Oh, hi Wednesday. What are you doing? Oh, and what were you looking at? Yeah, that does sound like Monday. Sure can. In fact, I just made a video about that. Let me show you.
Most beloved Presidente, do you remember Tropico? Emerald palm trees, platinum beaches, and crystalline seas, from which the sun reflects like the twinkling of jewels and golden coins. It is I, Presidente, Penultimo, your faithful aide, your biggest fan. I chronicled your triumphs. Fear not, for nothing was written down. Penultimo never forgets, unless he is told to, of course. So, let us enjoy these stories of the past. And what better place to start than the time you first met your loyal Penultimo, oh most successful Presidente. It was like the first sunrise of my life.
Hello there. You must be the new governor. I'm Lord Wyndham, voice of the crown, and it's your job to do as I say. Until your mandate runs out, at least.
Alright, so here I am playing Tropico 6. Now, I've played a little bit of Tropico 6, and I've played a little bit of Tropico 5. I really enjoyed Tropico 5. Really like games that offer simulation. Not necessarily war simulation, although that's always fun. I play Civilization. I've played similar games to that. But a nice relaxing game like Tropico that throws a few things at you as you play along. I hear there's quite a few new things with Tropico 6, such as different factions or more factions, but here we're starting out very similar. When I look at this and I remember Tropico 5, I remember getting quests because Tropico 5, the dictator started out as as someone who reported to the crown. The crown is very ambiguous, it could be any crown, but to the royal person, and had a royal individual or person who worked for the royal family who basically had you do tons of stuff. Now, when you did that stuff, you could get rewarded or you could get extra time. If you ran out of time, the game ended. And so you had to balance that reward versus just being able to play in what was called the colonial age. And I see a lot of that still here. I haven't actually played past this first level here, but I've gone ahead and gone forward, and I've played quite a bit as far as just building things, working on different islands here in this first stage, setting up shipping area. I'm by no means an expert. There are a few mechanics that have confused me, and you're probably going to spot things that I could do better, but this is really to show you the first steps of the game and hopefully drive some interest for Tropico 6. I love the theme of the Tropico series. I love the music. I love the wackiness. I love that you will eventually rebel, or buy your way out, or a number of things. I really don't know how Tropico 6 is going to go. I love Penultimo and how he will scheme with you and various other people will scheme with you. It really has a feel of being this sneaky, conniving dictator, maybe like Great Leader from Rocky and Bullwinkle, or some of the really over-the-top leaders. So without further ado, let's go ahead and click accept on our mission to have one sugar plantation. Now, here we have our pause, we have our game speed, and the default to change game speed is G, and I do like the hotkeys. I don't know all of them. You can rotate the mouse through the normal means, Gonna go ahead and... Oh, I don't like that. I kept forgetting that. Spacebar does not pause it. So, when I learn that, I'm probably going to follow through with the pause menu, or as a hotkey. So, other than that, this works a lot like you would expect from other similar games. Let's go ahead and review our build menus. So here we have construction. We have roads, demolish, dock, construction office. Construction workers travel to construction sites to contribute to the construction process. That's not anything new. The Teamster's office organizes logistics on one island, transports goods from production to processing buildings, transports goods to docks for export. And this is something I was very familiar with in Tropico 5. They kept it in Tropico 6, and I see they've added a Teamster port, but we'll get to that in a moment. Landing allows citizens and tourists to get into boats. People traveling in boats can dock at landings. So we'll probably be using that this time around to build on the other island. And then the Teamster port enables Teamsters to transport goods to other islands. So when I built the Teamster port, I thought that would allow an immediate construction team on those islands. But it doesn't. The landing does, and then build a construction office on each island you visit, and that'll speed things up. Food and resources. This is where we need to go to complete our quest. And so we have coconut harvesters, logging camps, fisherman wharf, plantation, ranches, and mines. And those of you who are familiar with this will remember that when you have something as a basic resource, you can sell it as that resource, and you can get contracts to do so, or you can build other buildings here in the industry section to help you. Right now we just need the sugar plantation, and this is another thing I've always liked. You get several types of the resource good, and then you get a screen that tells you really the best spots, and I like building here. But here's an issue. How do I know that this is best for my island? Because I do not plan things out far enough, but I can see that the road connects right there. I remember not liking the curvature of the roads. Things need certain angles, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I see the road goes all the way out, and I'm going to build up from those shacks. Now you see these shacks. Whenever you see shacks, that means that someone else is willing to live there and pay money to be there. This is where the people want to be. Now I'm going to destroy some of those shacks by building the road up here. But what this is really telling me, and it's very unique to this game, these people need housing. You will benefit from providing them housing. Build houses here. For now though, let's go ahead and focus on the road. Alright, and I do that. It's a nice square thing. I like angles. But I'm also going to go ahead and look at my residentials. Here we have 2 residentials unlocked, but I could purchase the blueprints for a mansion. I'm not going to. I'm going to look at these. Country house, low quality residential building for 2 households. Tenants must be well off or better, emits little pollution. Bunkhouse, low quality residential building for 6 households. Tenants must be at least poor. So here we see that takes 4 spaces and will house 6 poor or better. This takes 2 spaces and will only house 2, but will house individuals of better wealth. So what I think I'll do is, I think because of how that is, I'll build one of those there, and I'll build one of those there, because again I like right angles. And then here, I am going to build a bunkhouse because I can see, I don't know if every square of shacks represents one or more families, but I can certainly see that either case, a couple of bunkhouses would be helpful. Now, with that, let me go to overlays. And I'm going to look at a couple of other things. Pollution, my island is golden. Electricity hasn't been invented yet. Crime safety, they're in danger of crime, but I can't do much yet. Liberty, I can do things about. So liberty, there's a global base liberty, which is affected by certain buildings, such as those of newspapers, that affects the liberty nearby. Citizens affected by local liberty while resting at home are affected by local liberty while resting at home and at their workplace. In other words, they're not affected in transit, so build liberty buildings appropriately. Now, media and education is a great way to get liberty, increases liberty nearby, generates knowledge for the research of regime tools. So we're going to do some of these later, because I know that we're going to get quests to do them. This first mission teaches you quite a few things that you'll need to know for future maps. And although there is a tutorial that will teach you the very basics, and then build and build and build and build until you're in the modern age and doing all sorts of things that doesn't really apply to the current age, I feel that doing this first mission is really more educational for a starting pace. But I've played a Tropico game before, I kind of know what to expect. I would suggest that play at least the first few levels of the tutorials if you're feeling lost. So now that I've started work on what I would like to do, I'm going to go ahead and hit play. You see up here I still have 76,000 monies. I have a population of 81, and 73%, now 74%, 3, support me. And so with that, right now, we could wait, or we could build quickly. And when we build quickly, it costs us additional money. We can do it anywhere, and so you'll see we don't need any construction people to come from our construction office to do that. And so, what I'll do is I'll quick build our mission item. And it's relatively affordable for the amount of money they give us in this very first mission. I imagine in other missions, it's a little bit more difficult. Now here we see a couple of things. Work mode, and you can see there are bonuses. Most buildings will come with a very basic option. And then budget. Budget will affect productivity. Here we have workers. Now we could kick workers out, fire them, and make sure that only so many people come here. We're not going to do that though. Here we have the statistics. This will show us really what's going on and how valuable this plantation is. Here we have upgrades, and you'll see that a couple of the upgrades are restricted: Cold War, Modern Times, and World Wars. And it looks like they go straight down. So I can't upgrade them, but as soon as something happens in the Cold War, getting us to that era, we'll be able to upgrade that. Alright, so efficiency. We have a -2% efficiency from fertility, but the rest is at 98%. So what will happen if I increase the budget? I don't know. So we get a budget modifier to our efficiency, and I think they did talk about this in the tutorial, and get up to 108% efficiency. And so you can overcome fertility and other issues by paying more. And then finally our description. Surely in centuries to come, people will look back fondly on the plantation owners who provided employment and food to everyone at practically no benefit for themselves. One, of course, needs only look at history to realize how full this dictator is of himself. And that's part of the classic, is that everything is
Governor, the people
spun.
have a
And I'll let
request.
her talk.
But for safety reasons, it is a secret request.
So this is a quest, and I'll get back to that. But I love how the dictator and his advisors are completely full of themselves and spin everything awful and horrible into a light where you want to know and you want to say something. And if this were anybody else, you would say something. But these people are just full of charisma, and they're the type of people that you love to watch as villains. And a lot of times, when you have a horrible choice, they'll tell you the good and the bad, and say, of course, you will know what to do. And of course, my accent is terrible. But that's one of the things I like. Now, here, we do have a quest. And it says, only I know what it is, and several dozen loose-lipped freedom fighters. And your spies. In fact, you almost certainly knew what we wanted before we did. In which case, please do it, and we shall say no more. So, this is our revolutionary person. She will help us, I imagine, break away from the crown. She wants us to produce corn, have a plantation for corn, and accept her demand within 116 days. She'll give us a reward. One can be chosen. 10 revolutionary immigrants. So when we pack our island with certain people, they'll support a certain lifestyle or certain ideologies. And we can play to those people. And I understand that there will still be elections here, but they have brought back something from previous games I never experienced called speeches. I haven't actually done a speech. I don't think I have, outside of the tutorial. But you can pander to certain groups. So not only will I bring in fresh workers to help me run my area, they'll be workers of a type I can influence. We can also just get straight money, or get a random blueprint. And we saw earlier we get blueprints to build special buildings. I've chosen blueprints before, and I haven't felt that they were worth it. So I think this time, if we complete this, we will get 10 revolutionary immigrants. We'll have to see if I change my mind based on what happens. So let's go ahead and accept.
Sport. I need a teensy tiny favor.
And you'll see this, you'll get multiple demands. Unfortunately, this is not a conflicting one. Conflicting ones happen, and then you have more fun issues to deal with. This one, or as the telegram I received this morning says, that overambitious, egotistical bug, I think that's you, should do as we instruct without making a blunder. You won't make a blunder, will you? Our last blunderer's ears are still nailed to the pillory. So I said, electricity wasn't invented yet. And it certainly hasn't reached our island, but apparently with the telegram, it has. That's okay. So, to complete this quest, fulfill export trade route with the crown, 1. Accept demand in time, 56 days. So you can see, this guy's a lot more demanding. And here is what we talked about earlier. Extend the mandate time by 18 months, or get 2,000 money. I never think that 2,000 money beats out 18 months. Because if you run out of time in your mandate, you lose. And you have to go back. So when we accept it, and we will be doing this one, we will go ahead and choose the mandate option.
I have new instructions. I mean, suggestions. The plantation's growing nicely, I take it? Filthy thing, nature. But there's money in it.
And you're getting a personality sense through the quests that you get. You'll see Lord Roger Wyndham is certainly someone who looks down on us and has a few quirks that will come out later, which I find hilarious. But he wants us to have a rum distillery. This is one of those teaching moments where the rum distillery is going to take the sugar that we've already planted and turn it into rum, which then can be sold or exported. So, when he indicates, now, to get things done, we'll need manpower. Get the cooperation of the locals in the sweat-encrusted I won't say that, means bribing them with something they want. Rum works well, so build a lovely new distillery. Oh, and export some too, would you? Get some cash coming in. So here we have 3,000 money, which is 50% higher than we got, and extended mandate by 12 months. And you can see things will fluctuate with the quests, but let's go ahead and accept this. We don't have another option. And move on. So here we have our quests. Rum Distillery, 0-1. Produce Corn, 0-1,000. The Crown Trade Route. Now I'm going to go ahead and pause it again. Normally I can complete this in a flow, but I want to go ahead and take some time to go over everything. Here we have our trade routes, and we start with 1. And so we see who we're trading with, and right now a lot of our options are smugglers. And when we see what's going on, we see that these people will bring items in, but it will cost us. And we're going to pay 10%, 20% more for getting what we want. Instead, we're going to go ahead and export. And we see the export by this red arrow here to the Crown. Here's the Crown. Corn, 5%. We're going to agree to do this. And with this, normally with trade routes, you can select what you want. You can see we're getting paid. And there's no time limit. But what there is a limit to your trade routes. So when we do this, we ultimately chain ourselves down. But these new offers come in every 3 months. We might want to take this if it's a really, really good deal. Right now, I am only seeing 5%, and I'm seeing it on corn, which we're going to build or construct a corn plantation. So I think I'm going to go ahead and sign this contract. Gives me the little pop-up, and you'll note that there are relation modifiers both for canceling and signing contracts. The Crown really doesn't like it when we get smuggled goods, because of course they can't tax it. But here we have our corn. We could buy another trade license, and we may have to. But once we complete this, we will get our money. And then on completion, we will get plus 10 reputation with the Crown. And that'll make the Crown supporters really happy as we continue to do that. But again, we're going to stock our island with revolutionaries. So we may not want to please the Crown so much as this game goes on. Right here we have our rum distillery. We can click on this just to be reminded of everything regarding the quest. So we go to construction. And I love these images up here because they tell you really what you're getting. Then you hover over it and it tells you. So entertainment, and this will be our taverns, but we're not going to really get industry items here. Residential, industry looks like a classic factory. So here we have our rum distillery. And one of the things to note in this game is it takes time to move goods. So if you can have a rum distillery here, a rum distillery here, and have the sugar that it's importing over here, it'll speed things up. Because remember, we have teamsters who move goods from one location to another. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the produce corn. And remember, we need to go to our food and resources, click plantation. And right now we have corn. The whole island is good for corn. And you can see the white squares are where the corn will actually grow. I actually think that this is a really good spot. So I know that there are some adjacency bonuses, things like that. I really don't understand what the math is for that. I haven't read them. And I have no idea if this is going to cause an adjacency bonus or not. But here it says efficiency 100% and efficiency 108. So right now, they're not affected. But we are going to do the quick build. And so we've done all of our quests. And of course, spacebar does not unpause it. Just go ahead and click play. Now with this, you'll note that the game does seem a little bit slow. This is because really I should have had the time going for all of this. But since I didn't, I do have time to look at other things. I see some more shacks. So I'm going to go ahead and go in here and build another bunkhouse. And I understand that once these bunkhouses are complete, the shacks will disappear. But what it is saying is people do want to live here. So we're going to go ahead and speed things up. One of the best things about this is the music. I love the music. The music is really well done. It's catchy, and I really enjoy it. It does make...
Viva la revolución! Together, Governor Ju, I, and the people will turn everything around.
Okay, and so what I was saying is it does make playing soothing or exciting or fun. It adds an entire mood to it. Here we see that we have our... excuse me, we have our quests, and we've produced 1,000 corn as requested, and that was fast because we were on 4 times speed. And we have a corn plantation. So remember I said we want the revolutionary immigrants. Keep in mind we are going to need to keep them employed. So let's go ahead and do one other thing. We're going to employ people at a tavern to keep our residents happy. And anything that doesn't produce a road here will benefit from being next to a road, but doesn't need one. So I put that right there, and I'm going to quick build that as well. And here we have 3 people who are going to come in and provide some bonus to us. Some bonus entertainment. Now here, this has a symbol. Oh, and the symbol went away. Next time I see that symbol, I will try to stop it if I see it again. Let's take a look at our city, though. Ah! And I apologize, I was pressing escape right as that occurred. Your distillery seems to be working. Quick tip, Governor. It's best not to sample your own tipple, if you get my meaning. Jolly good. Yes, I don't do the voice justice. And yes, it's still just as funny to me. I certainly make it my business to avoid your island cocktails. Too much coconut, you see. Did I mention that I'm allergic to coconut? Just one of the reasons I hate this place. Please keep in mind, there's a building just for harvesting coconuts. Fun. I am going to extend my mandate by 12 months.
It's my job to fully exploit these islands, insignificant as they are. Ore, bananas, giant apes, dinosaurs, whatever has monetary value.
And doesn't he take his job seriously? Get him money, and he's happy. So I need you to get whatever we've got. If you've got the guts, expand, Governor. Expand. Go to all the islands and find me things to sell. Are you listening? Or are your ears just painted on? And so it's clear, we don't like him. We want to get rid of him, or at least give him coconuts. Build a Teamster port on each of the 3 other islands. 3,000 money, or extend the mandate by 12. And so we go here, and remember our Teamster port was here in traffic and infrastructure. So we are going to do here, spacebar gives us the island map. And this is where it's useful. I want to make sure that I put this at a place where roads will connect. So I'm going to build there. I don't like this island. It's too small. Here we have our fun little...
I ask myself, Governor, do the ends justify being mean? But for independence, any sacrifice is worthwhile.
And you're really getting a feel for her character. She loves to help the people, but as a revolutionary, she's willing to go, let's say, above and beyond. In this case, she just wants us to build a chapel. We need to accept the demand within 180 days, which we will do. I'm going to go ahead and accept and push pause. So what I was saying is we have our fun little SOS. These are just little things that are fun on each island. Here is a really great island for expanding. And of course, our starting island is the best. So what do you think? Do you think Monday will like that?